Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Frontline in the Trenches, the FPL in the Trenches Frontline Prediction League. I said it kind of normal that time, so made myself say it weird. But I am one of your co-hosts, Scott. Joining me is BeerMeJesus, the other co-host. How are you tonight, BeerMe?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Doing good. We're leaning towards Fastlane, and it's coming up faster than I think any of us really realized. Are you kind of taken by surprise with how quick this has come up?
Yeah, I really am.
We went from like shows like a week after week, and then had a bit of a break, and then suddenly there was just enough of a break to make us kind of go, and here it is again. So tonight we're gonna reveal the rest of the Fastlane card, and I guess Bearme will go through our prediction picks for that, who we think is going to win. Not the event itself, but our FPL event. And yeah, just a little bit of talk on some stuff that I know is coming up with the network and some changes in some events and what we're looking at and how we're dealing with things and stuff like that. But right off the bat, as always, this is the Frontline Prediction League, FPL. It is Frontline League, on Twitter. If you're watching on YouTube, it is on this YouTube channel, the Frontline Prediction League one. There is also our podcast that Beerme and I are on. It's called Top of the Card. It is every other week. We've kind of been every week, and we kind of skipped one here, and we're going to aim for next week, and we're looking to see how that goes. But that is Top of the Card Pod. Top of the Card Podcast is available on YouTube as well, but mostly... Actually, it's not on YouTube yet. I'm bad at that. It's on everywhere else you get podcasts, though. It's on your Spotify and all that stuff. I'm going to take care of that over this weekend and get that up there, so it's all on the YouTube as well. But... The main thing I really wanted to focus on here, Beerme, was the fact of what some of the shows are working on, timing wise, and what we're dealing with. And we encountered something with AEW Revolution. We didn't really go into detail on it, but it's how the Kickoff show worked. Their buy-in. Everybody who is watching and puts your predictions in, and you go to the Discord down below, and you sign up, and you get an avatar, and you put your picks in, and you're on the event. The deadline for the event, for Fastlane in particular, as you can see right there on the screen, Sunday, March 21st, 7 Eastern on Peacock and the network. The pre-show, whenever that starts, generally for WWE, is an hour prior, so 6, which means our deadline is an hour before that, 5. That makes sense. That's what we've always done. That's what we did back in the JRPL as well. There's some odd ones here and there because Impact has done it where they had no pre-show, so it's just simply an hour before the event. And they've done it where it's a half-hour pre-show. NXT does that as well. So we encounter stuff like that. And we ran into something with Revolution where AEW themselves were saying their buy-in pre-show was starting at 7:30. But you go to Fight, which is broadcasting as well, and they said it starts at 7. Like, what? Yeah, so I tuned in at 7. And it said that there was all this pre-packaged stuff, and then it got to 7:30, and it went live into the arena for the match. I was like, okay, they're both kind of accurate, but what we've always done, Beerme, you know this well, is we've always gone by WWE, we've gone by AEW, we've gone to ROH, their official site. Like, we don't go by the WWE Twitter, we go by WWE.com. We don't go by WWE on Fox or stuff like that. So same here. We're not going to go by what Fight says. We're going to go by what AEW says. And they said 7:30. We should have went by that. We went with 7. The deadline was 6. We adjusted it on the fly. So that's just so people know. So that's what happened there. And that's what's going to get weird coming up. Because it looks like Fastlane, 7 o'clock, the pre-show is being announced as being the bump. And it's 2 hours prior, but it runs for an hour and a half, which means we might have a half-hour pre-show. We're not 100% sure just what the heck is what, because that's from Peacock, not WWE. You follow the craziness here, right, Beerme? Yeah. So whatever WWE says is what we go by. So it's always 1 hour before the pre-show, the official time as per WWE. And they normally say how to watch, and here's all your different ways, and here's your times for the bump at 1 o'clock, and stuff like that. So it's whatever that is, it's always an hour before. So if I tell you right now it's an hour before, and that's 6 o'clock, and they actually make a 2 hour pre-show, and it's at 5 o'clock, the deadline's 4. Just keep that in mind. So don't do what Beerme does and wait till 10 minutes before, because you don't want to do that. I'm sorry, Beerme. Beerme always posts his picks like the 9th Like the 9th out of 10 minutes, he's like, right on the line. It's the deadline. The post page will go up Friday night, which you're maybe watching this on Friday. It will go up after SmackDown. If it's AEW or NXT, it goes after the Wednesday, right? So it depends on what the show is relevant-wise. If it's ROH, it's like the middle of the week because their pay-per-views are Fridays. And that's where your timing is. So do your picks, look up your stuff. This is another thing. If it's taped, there's issues with spoilers. We haven't encountered that yet because WrestleMania and Final Battle were both 100% taped. And so was the Edge match and some of these cinematics. We haven't encountered it where the results got out and influenced everything. Because the whole point is to put predictions in not knowing the result, right? If you already know that it's already there. So we haven't encountered that. We haven't even really talked internally about that. So we are aware of the possibility. And it's actually something that we're looking at with the Impact Plus shows. Those are regular, those are monthly, but half of those things are taped. And Sacrifice, BeerMe, we both watched that. It was taped in February. It was taped before, I believe, before No Surrender, which was live in February. They taped it before that. Like, if my timing is right, it's the next one's live, the Hardcore Justice. It's live at WrestleMania Saturday. If it's taped, we're not doing it because people are going to find out. We don't want to risk that. We've got to be careful about that. But that doesn't mean we're doing the Impact Plus ones, but we're looking at it because they're fun, and hey, they're free. Beer and I learned that as well. We paid $10 on Fight, and turns out it was free on Impact.
It was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it. $10, it was worth it. But yeah, there was that. That brings us to the other part where WWE's doing a thing right now with TakeOver. Because it's going to be TakeOver for 2 nights. One night on USA in the normal time slot of NXT. And then Thursday night is going to be day 2, or night 2 they're calling it, on Peacock. And it's like, how do we do that? And we're not even... We're still looking at it officially. The Wednesday show we wouldn't do because that's just NXT. Same as when Dynamite does their Slam show or their Bash at the Beach, and we didn't do New Year's Evil, we didn't do Halloween Havoc. That's just an episode of NXT. Just like TakeOver was last year. TakeOver was just an episode of NXT. So we wouldn't do that. But then there's the Peacock one, which is part 2, but that's half of the same event, and it gets weird. So we're not. I would say don't count on it until we announce it, and we haven't announced it. So that's probably the best way to look at it right there. Same with us. The official stuff, just like WWE.com, is going to be whatever we have in the booking page, which you're looking at right here with Fastlane. That's the safest way to look at that. And it also goes for that whole NXT UK prelude thing, which is, I think, just a UK episode or something. They're pivoting their TV to be the specials, but not like in place of, but it's still just, it's episode whatever of NXT UK. It's a mess, bear me. It's a mess. If anything, for the COVID stuff, for what we deal with now, we deal with it. I look forward to it going back to normal in that regard because we don't have to worry about things being taped, and it's those live shows on the proper time frames, and people can go to them. That's my opinion. What do you think of all that craziness with the timing and stuff? Like, I mean, as someone who puts his picks in, said deadline's 5:00, and you're putting your picks in at 4:55. How do you feel about the uncertainty of what's going on with that? What do you feel there?
Yeah, I guess I'll just have to really stress about them earlier than I normally do, and not think about them as long and put them in earlier.
We might just have to put in some kind of thing where there's a battle royal a day before. We just have everybody put their picks in for a deadline there because that worked. A lot of people,
I did do that.
Half the roster put the picks in the day before, so it was like, hey, that's pretty good. So
I didn't get picked for the battle royal.
No, I did. It was a fun time.
You did.
But that is something. I mean, we're going to be looking at that with the WrestleMania Battle Royal. More on that as we get there. But first up is Fastlane. So I hope everybody understands the timing of things and when stuff is kind of taking place and when it's falling. Your deadline is an hour before the kickoff, which is only officially declared as per the company, not even their Twitter. We don't, because the reason for that is they absolutely declared Bray Wyatt won by DQ, and then it was like, no, that's not how it went. So we're not going by the Twitter stuff. So Yeah, let's dive into Fastlane, though, because we got to get through that first, and that's this weekend. And I'm looking forward to the show itself, the real show. I'm always trying to be optimistic. It's a weird one, though. It's got, like, some Mania implications, absolutely, but more than I would normally think. But it is the launching thing on Peacock. And for those new to wrestling, I know there's a lot of people on our Discord. I'm ancient compared to some of you guys. But they have a history. Whenever they're on a new platform or launching a new show, they do stuff. It's that way. It's historic. Like, Main Event had a title change when they launched that, almost 10 years ago now. Saturday Night Main Event had stuff like that. Like, they do that. They had the first live kind of match on the network, Sheamus and Rusev, and they put a title change on that. They're going to do it. So keep that in mind when you're looking at this, because they're going to have... there is going to be a title change. I am 100 billion% certain of that. Just because they can look back and be like, oh, the first show on Peacock, and there's a title change, because it's for the new audiences coming in, checking it out, wanting to see stuff. So keep that in mind for your...
Might be an intergender match, too.
Might be an intergender match. I mean, it's announced. Orton and Bliss.
Yeah.
That's announced, whatever that's going to be, which is just been super fun. But I think it's going to be the women's tag titles. They're going to change hands, but they're not going to keep them through Mania. Like, they're going to bounce around, I feel. So
it's possible.
Let's dive in, BeerMe. What we've got here for you today is some matches, and we'll go through the matches that are there with our picks, and then announce the rest of the card. How's that sound?
All right.
Okay. Or is it? Or wait, what do I have here? Do I have the list? Yeah. What I've got is not on there. So yeah, let's look at this. Let's look at the main event. We talked about this a bit briefly last time. It's the FPL American Championship. It is a death match, a 4-way, not elimination. It is Alexander McKennedy, Jace of Blades, the Midnight Rider, and Rate Wrestle in that 4-way. All these guys had won their hardcore qualifiers, which were not declared as such. That was kind of the point. And these guys either got positioned in there based on just how things were going, or requested it and came out on top. Again, RGX did as well, but it was him or Rate, and that kind of thing happens. And it just really looks at who is there and who's in line, and that's where we came about with that. We talked briefly about it last time. I really want Lee to win this one. I want him to get that solo gold real bad. I think this is McKennedy's to lose, though, if that makes sense. He's been on a really strong run, specifically in this division, if you want to call it that. It is the division. He's been on a run, so I'm thinking the Rider, though. I can't not pick Lee on this one. Who have you got?
Oh, man. I mean, any of these guys would be good. I mean, Lee would take it back to Canada. You got Rate Wrestle, who would his character would take it back to Japan. You have McKennedy, and then you have Jace, who's the only American in the match. So I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna pick Jace Blades to keep it in America.
It's not a bad bet. Not a bad bet at all. So we got the Rider and Jace. I like it. We've got a match that you're probably going to be watching very closely. The winners team gets the War Games advantage. It is Bastion of FBU. I almost said OVS. That's Roman Pierce of OVS. And JJ Rocky of the Simple Creatures. I will not pick against Bastion because it's Bastion, but I mean JJ. I know better than to pick against Bastion, so I'm picking Bastion on this one, but I would not be surprised if JJ got it. And that's not to discount Roman Pierce. I just see these guys capitalizing on this one, and yeah. Who have you got?
Oh, Bastion, of course.
Well, let's move on then. We've got James Costner versus Sebastian Escobar. Very, very solid match here.
It's good stuff.
This is Costner able to capitalize and interrupt that momentum, but I think Escobar's got that. I think he's going to be able to keep that going. Who have you got?
Oh man, this is tough. I like both these guys. I'm gonna pick James Costner because he does not suck.
That's why.
Yeah, and I think he's just gonna continue on his role because he wants to face JD really. Well, he's gonna face JD.
Yeah.
So I think he's gonna keep the momentum into that.
Fun fact. Go ahead.
But if Escobar wins, it will not surprise me because he's been on a roll as well.
Yeah. I was gonna mention that American title match, by the way. Most of those guys have announced WrestleMania matches. We've got stuff in mind for everybody, just so you know of that. whatever happens there, that match will become for the American Championship. So Jace has Cure 1, if I'm remembering correctly, and Rate has RGX. Those would become American title matches. Same with whatever the Ryder has and whatever McKennedy has. They'd be for the American title. So just to get that in there. Which has guys like their opponents surely interested. And that's going to be these people in these question mark matches because we haven't announced the rest of it yet. So let's do that. Do you want to do the kickoff show matches to start off here, Beer Me?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
All right. First things first, we got Wookie, the monster, taking on Lexi Briggs.
Yeah. That's an uphill battle for Lexi. Wookie's a tough one, though. Wookie, he can be capitalized. He's not got that streak yet, right? So.
Yeah, Lexi's been so close in winning these matches, though. Like with Smooth Rock, I think she lost by like 1 and then like 2.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna pick Lexi on this one. I think she's
I am too.
Yep.
We got Big Dolan versus Bane the Bissa.
2 of the newcomers. I like that. Sort out some of the big division. Big Dolan and Bane is a big one,
right?
Too, so that'll be a fun match. That'll be good. Good.
We got.
I don't know. I'm picking Bane.
All right, I'll be different. I'll pick
I'm
Big Dolan.
picking Bane. Yeah, I don't know enough about Dolan. I honestly kind of just stared at it. I'm like, Bane. Yeah.
Right. All right. We got Matt Zion. Little reckless eating. We got versus Kurt Colt.
The old green machine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Matt finally got his first win, so I think I'm gonna go with Kurt Colt on this one.
I was gonna say Matt's pretty good at AEW. I don't really know about the whole WWE. I'm gonna go with Green getting the win as well, or Kurt Colt.
Kurt Colt, yeah.
Canyon.
Yeah.
All right. Here's one that you might be interested in. We have Rab versus Scott.
Oh, Rab is back, huh? Okay. Yeah.
Battle of former co-hosts. Or co-host.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna pick you though, Scott. Even though it's Rab's debut, I'm gonna pick you.
Historically, Rab, I'm actually 3-0 against Rab back in the day.
Oh.
Yeah, he's the only person I've beaten that hasn't beaten me back out of 100 matches in JRPL, where there's like more than one match. Okay, so I took him out like I took Matt out. I took both of them out with a crowbar, so all right, okay, yeah. No, that'll work. I'm on the pre-show. Okay. Yeah. That'll work. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm picking myself. So Rab can play spoiler. Rab can easily play spoiler on that. So yeah,
that's true. And last but not least, we have RGX versus CM Carlito.
Ooh, okay. I'm picking RGX. Carlito is a very known quantity, and he's a tough one to beat. I've done it through the skin of my teeth in the mirror maze.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I remember that match. That was a good match.
He's a tough one, but I think RGX has got this this renewed turn after facing you. I think that like now we're going, so I think he's got this one. What do you think?
I agree. Yeah. He's got that new like sense of fire. He's doing the right thing. I think he's gonna do it.
It's a real turnaround from where things started with him. I rather like seeing that. I mean, as a heel, I don't give a crap. But I like the character development to see where things are going and how he's just kind of leaned into this based on whatever happens either way. That's a big thing that I've always done. Like, I might have the grandest scheme, but if I lose, all right, how's that work? And he's doing stuff like that too. And we're trying to get that with everybody with their characters, to be honest. I just know he's doing promos weekly, so it makes it kind of easy when he's doing that too. So, yeah, him and Carlito, I like that match a lot. That's good. Any more?
Nope, that's all I got.
Okay, let's go over to mine then. I've got, here we go. Jonathan C.T. Martin
Slide.
versus Red.
Oh, God. uh,
That's some history.
mm,
Come on, Red.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, come on, Red. I'm
You
picking
know,
Red.
I'm.
It's hard not to pick CT though.
Oh
I got to
man.
be honest.
Uh,
He's got a year of
I'm.
vengeance ready.
Yeah, I gotta pick Jonathan CT Slide Martin
CT slide.
to stop the slide. He'll get the victory.
Okay, okay. Next up, we've got Mad Elite Titan versus the Arbiter.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm gonna go with Titan. He's been surprising on a roll, and the reason I picked that, I look at that, I'm like, he shouldn't win that. That's why he will. That's my brain saying that because that's the Arbiter. But Arbiter's been sliding, and Titan's been on a good roll, so I'm picking Titan on that one. Who have you got?
Man, I'm gonna pick the Arbiter just because I know more about him than Mad Elite Type.
That's fair. That's how a lot of the stuff goes. I mean, we're doing the
Hmm.
predictions for our own stuff right now, right? So there you go. Next
Yeah.
up, speaking of guys we know, Luke Gray, he is here, and he is facing Kane O'Mac.
Oh,
Now, Luke's had some troubles, and Kane O'Mac has had some slides too, so I'm going to say Luke will pull this one out. Back to WWE main shows, I think Luke's got a shot here. I'm picking him. Who have you got?
I'm gonna go Kano Mac.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I figure Kano Mac will get the old revenge after last show when they lost that tag match.
True,
And
true.
get the win
Reaction
back.
did win, that's true. I'm sticking with Luke. I'm sticking with Luke on that. Next up, we've got a pretty high-profile one. We have Ash versus Mod Step.
Oh, that's good.
That's a really good one. I'm gonna pick it simply because how things have been going. I'm gonna pick Mod Step simply because Ash is doing what Payne's been doing and not quite getting the win, but it doesn't matter. I think Mod Step's gonna do that because Mod Step has been very, very consistent. So I'm gonna pick Mod Step. on that.
Yeah, I think I gotta agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Lucian Hollis versus Josh Dionio.
Oh,
So
all right.
JD is going to try to beat the crap out of this newcomer who can take a beating, and I got to go with JD. And the only reason I think that is it's a bit of a fiend type of situation where he can beat him down to beat him, but he's not going to really be able to stop him. I think because Hollis has been just a kind of a crazy wrecking ball, but I think JD knows how to capitalize on that and get the win. Is my thought there. What do you think?
Yeah, I like the whole Lucian Hollis character a lot.
Mhm.
So, but like I said, I mean, I'm gonna just piggyback off of what you said. Yeah, I think JD will pick up the win, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna hurt Lucian Hollis.
Yeah, he's gonna win, but he won't like beat him. Like I've conquered
Yeah.
you. It's more like I got it because he's good at that. JD's
Mhm.
very good at that, so I think he'll be able to capitalize there on. Don't want to call him the rookie, but the newcomer is what I say for these guys. Speaking of newcomer, Ralintendo versus Payne.
Oh,
I'll just say right off the bat, I think Payne's got that one. I not anything negative against your Ralintendo, but we're big fans of Payne here, and he's
True.
slid a little bit. I think this is his turnaround. I think so.
he's got to start picking up some wins towards Mania, right? Well, I mean, this is kind of one of the last stops for Mania. He's got to get a little
Yeah.
bit of momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick him too.
Yeah, like BeerMeJesus said, we've only really got this and ROH as 100% the shows, and that's really it. And then we're at Mania, so if there is any discussion, like I said, about Takeover or whatnot, we'll announce it. Don't worry. But there you go. And lastly, Broken Nerd will face LJ.
Ooh.
I can't bet against Nerd. I never will. But I mean, that's a creature.
LJ's been on a roll.
I've learned from you. It's hard, but I'm picking Nerd on this
Yeah.
one. I'm picking Nerd.
I want to pick LJ
Yeah.
just because he's been on such a roll. But I do like Broken Nerd a lot. But I'm gonna give it to LJ.
Yeah, I think some of these matches. I mean, I'll say all these matches are really good because we know what we're doing. I like to think, but that one really could be a toss-up. that's like a takeover kind of match where it's like either win is good, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking nerd for that one personally, and that's it. That's what I've got to announce. So some big matches, some interesting stuff going towards WrestleMania. The remainder of that card obviously will take shape after this one, so we'll see there. And we've got the ROH 19th anniversary, which we're just going to call it ROH, I believe. That said, if you have ideas for ROH, yeah, we've got most of it booked. But if you have ideas, let us know, because that's the kind of card to make some funsies, to do stuff that doesn't really matter, but you can make matter just because it's kind of cool. Let us know. Contact CT, Red, GMSG, or myself. Contact BeerMeJesus, he'll point you towards us. And we can see what we can do about some fun stuff on there. And if it doesn't work there, we got Impact right after. We've already got some discussions about stuff for that. We've got stuff in line for later on, because there's qualifications and there's things going on, because we got other titles, remember. There's the Canadian Championship. We don't even know who's in that match yet, BeerMe. That's at Mania.
Right.
So there's lots to come, lots to shake out from there. Not that ROH will lead to that, but you know what I mean? There's more coming, and it'll all be clear after this weekend. I hope. You can't. BeerMe doesn't watch the stream part of it. I don't stream it, but the look on my face was like, please. That's all I want, is for it to be just like a simple, straightforward card, and just some good shows. Are you overall excited towards WrestleMania and stuff, BeerMe? Like the real one for what's coming up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hyped. Yeah, I mean, I'm even looking forward to the ROH card. It's got a lot of matches, and
it does. It's
going to be good.
And another reason why we're not doing some things, like I know we're looking at NWA. That's the same day as Fastlane. The Impact Plus special, Hardcore Justice, is the same day as WrestleMania Day 1. We don't want to do two shows in the same day. We had enough of that when they were running WrestleMania weekends anyway, so we're holding off. If we do stuff, we'll let you know. But for now, it's enough as it is. But hey, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with demand and whatnot. And if you guys really want to let us know to do it, comment down below. Let us know on the Discord as well. I'll say it clearly. Doesn't mean we're gonna, but hey, if we know you want it, it does inform our decision. We go, man, maybe next time. You know, that kind of thing. So just to keep that in mind. But I think we're at that half-hour point, not even. But I think we're good. I think it's time for Fastlane. In like 2 days. By the time people are watching this, maybe even tomorrow, maybe even tonight. If you're watching this and Fastlane is tonight, you've got an hour till the pre-show. Whenever that pre-show starts. An hour before that pre-show is your deadline. Please, please, please put your picks in Friday or Saturday so you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I think we can call it there, BeerMe. Let's get on that Fastlane and go. What do you say?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good. So everybody, thanks for joining and watching In the Trenches, and we'll see you next time.